In 1991, I was 10 years old. I was also Mormon. For those of you who don't know, back then anyhow, if you were 10 years old and a Mormon, you were also a Cub Scout. Now, if you were a Cub Scout, you participated in the Pinewood Derby. The Pinewood Derby is a race where you carve a small car out of a block of wood and race it down a ramp. I was very good at the Pinewood Derby. And what that means is my grandfather was really good at the Pinewood Derby. We would take the car to his woodworking friend to carve the body. We would take the car to his metalworking friend to shape the weights. We would take the car to his machinist friend to polish the wheels and axles. My grandpa was really into the Pinewood Derby. I was really into the prizes. I became the kid nobody wanted to race against. I was kind of a legend for a while in the Pinewood Derby circuit amongst 8 to 12-year-olds. There are a few of my trophies here. I have 2 gigantic boxes of them in my grandparents' garage. Better than the trophies, though. That year, when I took the state overall, I got a bike. A bicycle. The bicycle was a black GT Performer freestyle bike with mag wheels. This thing was cherry. I was just so happy to have this bike. So the Pinewood Derby was on a Saturday. It's fairly late afternoon, evening before I got home, didn't get much of a chance to ride. I lived with my mom. My mom was not Mormon. My grandparents were Mormon. Well, I stayed at their house usually on the weekends to go to church, but I had a new bike. So I called up my grandma and I said, "Grandma, I'm not coming to church today." Well, so now not only was I skipping church, I was going to be breaking the Sabbath, but I had to show this bike off. I took it out. All the guys in the neighborhood gathered around. We stood around. We looked at it for a while. They had their oohs and ahs. They asked me questions that I pretended to know the answers to. This bike was so cool, though. We decided to go for a ride. So, we went to our favorite spot. Over on Shaw Butte Mountain, there is a road that is just a big, steep hill. It is so big and so steep that we called it the Big Steep Hill. And we would just race our bikes down it. So, we pedaled and climbed, usually pushed at the end our bikes to the top. We got on, we got ready, and we started coasting down. And boy, I was flying. Mag wheels were spinning. Man, I felt good. The wind was blowing through my hair. The handlebars were wobbling. The handlebars started wobbling. I didn't know what was going on. The bike started to shake. I realized it was the wrath of God for breaking the Sabbath. I went tumbling down about halfway down this hill. And I just rolled and rolled and rolled until I was at the bottom of this hill. Well, luckily I landed right in front of the house of this older couple who came running out, called my mom. My arms were covered in road rash. Just covered in road rash. To make matters worse, road rash basically scabs up all over my arms. That night I slept in my long sleeve pajamas. The next morning they were so stuck to the wounds that my long sleeve pajamas were a part of me. By the time we got them off, I was just in horrible pain. This was the worst experience of my entire life. I was not happy. And, to make matters worse, my new bike was scratched. There was a tear in the handle grip. Just terribly upsetting. But the lesson I learned was that God will punish me for breaking the Mormon rules. This alone sorry, computer problems. This is pretty much what kept me Mormon for the next decade of my life. I'm not Mormon now, but the entire time I was because of being smited for riding my bike on the Sabbath. And that's the story of my scars, which finally went away literally maybe 5 years ago. Thank you.